Hi, Mr. C here. In our next step in our epoxy table, what we have to do is we have to build the form for our epoxy pour. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find some material that it will stick to, but I have this half sheet of material that was left over from a project several years ago. We don't even have any other sheets for this color. They no longer manufacture it. So I kept this around the shop to make jigs and fixtures. So I think this is a good piece of material to go ahead and use to build our whole form for this project. We've determined that the form has to be 44 in length by 22 in width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rip out all the pieces for that form right now. Okay. So I've set my fence at 44 inches. I have two roller stands to assist me because there's no one else in the shop. Be a little super careful. Now it is. Okay. Now I have this at 44 inches all set. Make sure that that corner of the material stays tight to the fence at all times. I push the material through the blade before I stop. I turn this off, and now I've cut that at 44 inches. So now I have that set. Now what I can do is wait for the blade to stop. Take this material here. I'm just going to place it right here. Now I need to go ahead and cut at 22 because I want the base piece first. Now this is 22 in width. Okay, so this is my base. So that's the 44 by 22 piece that we need. I'm going to wait for the blade to stop. Okay. I'm going to take this piece and it's cut to the exact size, place it in the mesh over here. Now, this is one of the pieces to our project, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the thickness, the dimension of that. Now I have, it's 1 3/4 inches, plus the base being 3/4, that'd be 2.5. So I need to rip pieces. I'm going to say, let's just cut them at 3 inches to give us a little bit of room. You don't want to make it exactly the height of the material because just in case, if it's slightly out of level, you don't want all the epoxy going over the edge of your form. So I'm going to take this and place this over there, back in the way. Now this piece is cut exactly at 44 inches in length. So I'm going to get a nice clean cut there. Then I'll rip it 2 other times because we have to go to the total length, which ends up being 23.5, and 44, can't make 23.5 twice, so we're going to go ahead and rip this 4 times. this material I can take and put away in the storage area to make other jigs out of at a later date. But right now, we have all 4 of these pieces cut. So let me go ahead and take you over here. Okay, right here I've determined, I'm going to move these pieces that we just cut out of the way, and I want to explain to you. I found that when I put the pieces together inside this format we created, we don't need, in the space that it's going to be going, I think that we'd be better served by having, instead of 48 inches in length, 44 inches in length, instead of 24 inches in width, going 22. It fits better in most homes, and we're going to use a lot less epoxy by eliminating this whole section. It's a significant, it's more than 2 gallons. So I think that we're just going to go this way. But also I want to point out, I removed all the bark and anything that was inside of here. Let me flip this up so you'll see. All that was removed, so it's down to hard material now. It's all the punkiness and stuff like that is gone. Also, all the bark is all removed from the edges on these pieces. One thing that was really challenging was getting rid of the knot that was inside of here and getting rid of all this material that was in this crevasse, I guess you could say. So I removed all that because that would be an area that would cause problems later during the epoxy process. So this is what we've determined for the size of this jig. All I'm going to do is I'm going to screw the parts together, cut these pieces, 2 of these pieces right here will be cut to give us the end pieces. These pieces, all of these pieces are exact same length as the base itself, okay? And that's what you want to do is when you want to think out your parts so you have less cuts and less likely to cut parts a little bit too small. So it's nice to set your fence at 1 dimension and then go ahead and follow through with making other parts exactly the same size to help you make sure you can avoid any